Good morning, folks. It is me, Christiana Gaudette, and I am here back in my office, as you can see, with a 3-card weekly reading for your week. This has become a Monday tradition, and I'm excited to do it. So, what's going on here? Let's see. We have here in South Florida done okay with the hurricane. That's why I'm back in my office, as you can see. Obviously, our neighbors in the Bahamas, not so well. And so we are all trying to support them with our donations, with our prayers. A lot of people I know are getting in boats and bringing supplies to them. So do what you can for the Bahamas. That's the important thing. I see people starting to come in. Hi, Leisha. Glad to see you here. Drop a comment so I can see you. And let's get going. This is your reading for this week, starting today, September 8th, and ending on Sunday, September 15th. Before I get started, I will let you know, Sunday, September 15th, I am teaching a class right here in my office, the Minor Arcana of Tarot. This is for beginners as well as advanced readers. If you're an advanced reader, you will learn things about the Minor Arcana you did not know. And if you're a beginner, this is a good way to get a foundation in your tarot understanding. Hey, Jeannie, glad you're here. So how does the 3-card weekly reading work? Basically, what I am reading is the energies that are available to us for the week. What you do with them is up to you. Of course, this is not the same as a personal reading or a reading I might do for you personally, but it is interesting how the cards will speak to us even as a worldwide community. Hey, Linda Armstrong, nice to see you. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. And what deck am I using? I'm using one of my favorites. This is Legacy of the Divine from Ciro Marchetti. Okay, let's see what we got here. First card, Death Reversed. Okay, so what do we do with Death Reversed? Death typically is not a card that speaks to a physical death. It speaks to change. It speaks to transformation. And when it is reversed, it could indicate that there is some resistance to change, that there are changes that we need to make as individuals or as a society that we are resistant to. When we see death reversed, it asks you to ask yourself a question. And that is, what change do I need to make that I am resisting? How can I make change in my life? Even change that doesn't feel comfortable. Because you know what? Most growth doesn't feel comfortable. Most positive change doesn't feel comfortable. So, think about that. This week, think about what changes you need to make, even if they are changes that don't feel easy or don't feel comfortable. Okay, what's our next card? The Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups, and isn't it interesting in this deck, the way that the knights are just helmets. We don't see characters. We don't see characters on horseback as we might in other decks. It's a helmet. Okay, so the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is about how we bring love, how we bring the energy of love forward. And so this card speaks to us about available energies this week for us to be more loving toward ourselves and toward each other. And when we think about that in context with death, here we are. When we think about that in context with death reversed, actually, that feels better. Okay. You know, I think sometimes we can be resistant to love. We can be resistant to loving ourselves. We can be resistant to giving compassion to others. And And so this week, think about that. In what ways are you resisting love? Are you resisting letting someone else love you? Are you resisting giving love? And obviously, if we're talking about this from a romantic perspective, it's appropriate sometimes. If someone has interest in you that you don't have interest in, it's okay to resist that. But when we talk about spiritual love, compassionate love, when I look at the Knight of Cups, I often think about how the early Greeks had like 6 words for love, where we only have one. So when we think of love in a Western way, we're often thinking about romance. We're often thinking about eros. But the early Greeks had agape, storge, philia, all of these different kinds of love that describe spiritual love, the love we have for one another, the love we have for our country, for our planet. And so when we think about the Knight of Cups, when we think about giving and receiving love this week, let's think about love in all its forms. Okay. What is our third and final card? The 6 of Cups reversed. So the 6 of Cups tends to be about looking to the past. It can be about nostalgia. And when it's reversed, there's a sense of spending too much time looking to the past and not enough time looking to the future. So this is a reading that really challenges us for our growth this week. To think about where we're being resistant to positive change, to think about how we can be radical givers of love and compassion, and to look to the future rather than the past. Learn the lessons of the past, but then take those lessons and look to the future in order to move forward in a more compassionate, more loving, more healed way. Now, I would have to think that with this kind of a reading, some things you might have to look out for, especially with this 6 of Cups reversed. Hi, Jan Brewington. It's nice to see you here. Glad you're here. This week, it is very possible that you're going to hear from some people from your past that you probably didn't want to hear from. And if someone like an ex from your past reaches out to you and you're not into it, you can be resistant to that. That is perfectly okay to resist. So if you're going to establish reconnections from the past, make sure they're connections that you want, okay? Otherwise, be willing to be resistant to that. So anything from the past that's trying to come back, if it's a healthy thing, good. If it's not, let it go. We need to be about the future, not about the past. With the Knight of Cups in general, the Knight of Cups does bring us opportunity for love. It offers us the possibility of love. Shan wants to know if I'm talking to her. You tell me, perhaps. So the possibility of new love is here. And, one thing that the 6 of Cups reversed offers us is no matter how old we are, to have a youthful attitude. I don't mean an immature attitude, but I mean a youthful attitude. So be open to that. Be willing to be playful. Be willing to embrace your inner child. So be resistant to exes that are in our past and shouldn't be in our future. Don't spend too much time in nostalgia. Look toward the future with hope. Examine yourself for ways that you are resistant to your own change and your own growth. And look at how you can be radically compassionate, how you can bring love to the world in a radical way. Okay, there it is. I'll be back next Monday with your 3-card reading for that week. In the meanwhile, if you are local and you would like to come to the tarot class Sunday afternoon here at my office, there are still tickets available. Amanda, good to see you. Glad you're here. Brenda, glad you're here. Thanks everyone for being here. And of course, I am available for private readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, or right here in my Palm City office. You can reach out to me here on Facebook. Feel free to private message me, or you can call or text me 561-655-1160. I thank you all so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.